All right, so I got a couple questions concerning the 6419 letter as well as the advanced child tax credit. So wanted to come on and just give a little bit of information. Also, I found it kind of hard to get the information concerning the prepayment protection. So I definitely wanted to make sure the information was out there. So what you're looking at right now is a news story that just came out a couple of days ago. I did look at the IRS site, and they haven't said anything officially. From my understanding, this was something that was said during some sort of media event, and that is that a lot of the 6419 letters are going out incorrectly, meaning that if you received, let's say, $1,800 in 2021 for the advanced child tax credit, you may be getting a letter from the IRS saying that you only received $1,500 or you received $2,000. The reason why that causes the issue is because when you file your 2021 tax return, you have to input the amount that you received for your advanced child tax credit so they can reduce your current year child tax credit by that same amount. If those numbers are incorrect, then that's going to delay your tax refund because the IRS gets that return. They're going to look at it and say, oh, well, you said that you're supposed to get $1,800 back in child tax credit, but in reality, you're only supposed to get $1,200 back. And so we're going to delay your refund, send you a letter until you correct this. Now, the IRS hasn't issued, again, any sort of official anything. I don't know what the guidance is. I haven't spoken to anyone at the IRS. So I don't know how this is going to be handled. In a situation like this, just like I said, they held refunds and required taxpayers to correct their returns. In some cases, the IRS will correct the return for you and send you your correct refund. And that means delays, right? So my advice for the 6419 is not to use the letter if you think it may be incorrect. And even if you're not sure, the best thing to do is to actually go back and look at your own accounting records and to determine how much you've actually received in advanced child tax credit payments. All right. The other issue is, and I actually had this happen to someone, if the advanced child tax credit check for whatever reason did not make it to your mailbox, or you moved in the process of 2021, or maybe the post office, lost your mail, or maybe you lost your mail and you didn't get one of those checks, you'll have no clue how much money you actually received. And so in that case, what I'm suggesting everyone do is to go out to the IRS website portal, create an account, and then download your 2021 account transcript. Okay, your 2021 account transcript. And what that's going to do is going to give you everything that's happened on your IRS tax account in 2021. And that's going to be, again, your advanced child tax credit payments, as well as your 2020 tax return and refund and all that jazz, right? So again, this is the story that I found. I didn't find anything official from the IRS. I do want to mention this. This is the only official guidance I found from the IRS, and basically it says simply, if you receive a letter, the letter will explain why you're getting the letter. If you agree with the letter, no need to contact us. If you don't agree with the letter, call us. And unfortunately, that is often the problem with the IRS and how they function, which is, if you have a question or problem, call us. But then they can't take all those calls. And I get stories of people saying, oh, well, I called and I was on hold. And, they're open 7 to 7, which is great. I always tell people, if you can, call them at 7 a.m. Don't put in your social security number if you can help it, and just hold on the line. If the system hangs you up or you get hung up on, call right back. Sometimes that may work at the 7 p.m. mark, but not always. Another thing that I've always done is I've always gotten some sort of online phone number, Google number, whatever. And if you're on the East Coast, then you can get a West Coast phone number, and that allows you to call the IRS later than 7 p.m. using that West Coast phone number. If you're on the West Coast, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do other than I'm trying to do the math in my head. If you got an East Coast number, no, that's not gonna help. So anyway, if you're on the West Coast, you're kind of out of luck. But Mountain Time, Central, East Coast, you can always get a West Coast phone number that gives you just a little bit more time to call later in the evening. Still trying to do that math in my head. If you were on the West Coast and you got an East Coast phone number, will that allow you to call earlier in the morning, West Coast time? I don't think it will. Um, Whoever's listening to this, you can figure that math out. But either way, again, West Coast phone number is probably the best way to go. All right. The other thing I want to discuss real quick is the prepayment protection or repayment protection. Sorry. And what this means is that, okay, so the advanced child tax credit works exactly like it sounds. It's advanced, right? So meaning your usual normal child tax credit that you will have received in 2022, okay, you've already received it in 2021. All right. Now, here's the thing. When you file your 2021 tax return, you have to basically repay the amount you've already received by either not getting child tax credit in 2022 or actually having to pay back that child tax credit in 2022 if you don't have dependents on your 2021 tax return. Okay. This also goes into effect when you're talking about, again, persons having dependents on their 2020 tax return and not having those same dependents on their 2021 tax return. All right. If you receive those advanced child tax payments, you will have to repay them on your 2021 tax return if you don't have those dependents on your 2021 tax return. There is, however, an exception. That's what you're looking at right now. It's called repayment protection. If your income is below these levels, then worry about repaying that child tax credit. If your income is above these levels, then you will have to repay that credit. And typically, at these income levels, unless you have, trying to do the quick math in my head, unless you have, more than 3 children right at that bottom $80,000 tier as a single person, this won't be an issue for you anyway, because that child tax credit typically is going to be a tax credit. It won't actually be cash in your pocket. Also, too, I want to say in 2021, if you do not have any income but you have children, you can still file a tax return and receive the child tax credit refund. And I'm sure that's not the correct technical term for it, but there's always the additional child tax credit and the child tax credit, right? So if you don't have any income and you do have children, you can still file a tax return and receive the additional child tax credit. This is going to be especially important for those who are on disability or Social Security and, again, not receiving any income, but they do have children. You can file a tax return and still receive the additional child tax credit. You won't get the earned income credit, but you'll still get the additional child tax credit. And that actually may come in handy, and it's really important to do the math, because I know a lot of times you'll have someone that will file a business return schedule to get the additional child tax credit, to get the earned income credit, but you have to pay self-employment tax, and you run the risk of also creating problems with any sort of Social Security disbursements or any sort of benefits that you may be receiving, right? So it may be in your best interest to simply file for the advanced child tax credit, or I'm sorry, the additional child tax credit, and not file for the earned income credit. Just depends. Like I say, you have to do that stuff. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will reply.